All right, as we sit on this clear sky day, maybe I should go back to Minami Osawa and see if there's a good sunset today, but it's just so far from this location. If you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel if you want. PayPal, Patreon, super like, whatever if you want. It does help the channel. I appreciate it if you do. Help pay for another tiramisu. So today I want to talk about someone has to be the bad guy. Someone has to be the bad guy, and someone has to be the good guy, maybe. And the idea that just because someone isn't your vibe, though, doesn't mean they're one of the bad guys, right? And I was thinking about this because of, certain things. Like I said, for some reason, some dude was trying to lump me in with all these, I guess they call them degen streamers or something now, even though I've been to Japan for years. And the dude was like, just legitimately posting false stuff about me, I guess. It was just fucking weird. And then other people chimed in posting false shit, right? Like, this person has to be the bad guy. Like, maybe, and of course, we could even talk about, at nauseum what I've talked about. Look at the video game community and all the stalkers I've had from that throughout the years. No proof ever of any of the weird shit that people say about me. And constantly proving that these guys are the actual bad guys. But it's easier to make the idea that Clayton is the villain, right? You know what I mean? Like, how many people, how would you say this? How many people, are they looking for bad guys, or are they trying to actually be the good guy, right? And, I made that video so many years ago now. It was, after I just started being able to walk again. Being cool is not that cool, right? When I strive to be the coolest person I could be, what I thought was the best person, you know what I mean? When I was trying to be the good guy, you know what I mean? Just because morally I feel like it's the right thing, right? I had achieved such a level of it that it actually made me look disingenuous, that maybe I must be trying to scam some people because it came from, when you're actually legitimately nice and it doesn't benefit you, it seems strange, right? I'm not someone that has looked for bad guys, right? I've tried to be the good guy, so to speak. And so often people that have tried to label me as the bad guy, again, no proof, and I've constantly showed it's wrong. And look at the crazy shit people try to, again, how many times do I have to say it? For years now, people have bragged about how lying about me, which means they knew it was fake too in the first place, right? But bragged about how lying about me made them money, right? These dudes are legitimately evil people, right? These guys aren't the good guy, right? They're the bad guy. But maybe imagining in some sort of, delusional fantasy, whatever, that someone else is the bad guy and that they are the good guy helps them get through life, right? Just like when you see some of these people, oh, this guy must be a bad guy. This guy must be, and I always think it's strange too. When I hear people, like, again, I had never even heard about any of these streamer things going on before, basically right before I came to Japan and I started talking to Nick again and I found out about all this stuff. But it's interesting to me that, so many people watch these people that they apparently hate. It's strange to me, right? Like, I don't associate with people that I don't like. I don't do things that I don't like, right? I mean, I guess I got to go to the hospital and, I actually don't like working out either. So I guess, okay, so there are things that I have to do to stay alive, I guess. But you know what I mean? I don't watch a bunch of people that I don't like if, I've seen some clips and I'm like, oh, okay, some of this stuff is weird as fuck, right? But it just I don't want to associate with something that I don't like. And I guess maybe some people, they watch that kind of stuff because, hey, if someone else is the bad guy, maybe somewhere deep in their mind, like, I'm the good guy. This guy, look at this guy. He's so evil and I'm so good. But what have you done to be good, right? Again, are you just looking for the bad guy, or are you actually trying to be the good guy? Like, when I saw those people post me, I'm like, these guys aren't actually trying to be a good guy, because they obviously didn't watch the video or any of my videos to see what I'm talking about, because I don't party, I don't drink, I don't do any of this stuff. Like, what the fuck is this, right? These guys are just looking for bad guys. They're not actually trying to be a good guy, right? Like, even when I saw that thing, about Nick, why apparently people don't like Nick. I saw the video, and I'm like, that video is not even a bad video. And it just looks like you're drunk with your friend, and you're just joking around drunk, talking about girls. I'm like, that's that's what people hate you for. I'm like, that's nothing. Like, that's like fucking nothing, dude. If that's all there is why people hate you, that's just like a bunch of, like, again, like incel people that are mad about nothing, you know? So that's like looking for a bad guy. And who knows? Maybe Nick is secretly evil. Nick is out with the waifu right now. Nick, I know you're secretly evil. No, you know what I mean? But, you know, and we'll use Nick as an example for this too. You know, I want to say that just because someone does something that isn't your vibe doesn't even make them the bad guy. Like, let's say, well, we'll use Nick as an example since I was just talking about him. You know, Nick, dude, some of the stuff he's done is crazy. Like that skateboarding across fucking Japan, you know, when he showed me those trips and everything like that, I'm like, wow. And, you know, he's camping everywhere and everything like that. Not my vibe at all. Not my vibe at all. I don't give a fuck about camping. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about skateboarding across Japan. Although I actually think that part is pretty cool. That's pretty, I think that's legitimately amazing to do that. But, you know, camping and all and some of the other shit he does, not my vibe. But it doesn't mean like he's like a bad guy, right? Just like, say we met that other streamer guy, you know, we only had like a little bit of a conversation and I was talking to him and, you know, he's picking up shit off the ground and then putting it in his mouth. And I'm like, dude, that's nasty as fuck, dude. You know, so I don't know if that would be my dude that I would hang out with. But I mean, just because he's not my vibe, I don't know if he's an actual evil person, right? So what I mean there, and you know, it's kind of a weird kind of like just tangent, you know, picking out random examples, is just because someone isn't your vibe doesn't mean they're a bad person either. You know? Someone wanting to go out and have sex with girls or whatever they're doing, if that's not your vibe, that doesn't make them a bad person. Now, some of these streamers I've seen, there's like lines that you can see are crossed, and I'm like, that looks malicious, right? And I always think that for me personally, I look at, is there like clear maliciousness, like evil intent that could harm somebody else, right? And some of the stuff I've seen, I'm like, okay, that would be evil. That's malicious. That could hurt somebody. That's not cool, right? But some stuff I see, I'm like, oh, that's just not my vibe. I just don't give a fuck about that, dude. You know? You could even say, look at video games, right? I'm a nerd, right? But I've been in Japan now for 3 weeks? I haven't played a single fucking video game. I can go months without playing video games, dude. And I know that's something, if people are watching from the video game community, that people hate, like, oh, you know, Clayton tries to pretend that he doesn't play video games, or he must practice all day. You know what I mean? There's no way he could have won tournaments like that. Oh, wait, but I mean, I just said he faked it all before, but I mean, I knew he won it, but, you know, deep down he was practicing. He wasn't really sick, but, you know, it's like, dude, I really don't play a lot of video games. Now, I enjoy video games. I enjoy the thought of video games more so than even playing them half the time, I feel like. But the idea of playing video games all day and stuff like that, you know, it doesn't really appeal to me. It's not my vibe, right? You know what I mean? Not that I'm not a nerd. Obviously, I have a lot of video game videos, but if you looked at my channel throughout the years, guess what? I've accurately predicted games just by looking at them because it's something I taught myself to do without playing them, right? You know, I don't care about hanging out in Discords all day. And, you know, I told those stories years ago, people, when Discord was first becoming a thing. I didn't give a fuck about Discord. And then it turned out Viteru was just trying to get me to join, like, basically. God, like I said, I made that video. Basically, Viteru was trying to get me to join Discord, and it's like a fucking gay cult of people who secretly want to fuck me but hate me at the same time. It was weird. Then when I looked at it years later, right, I'm like, what is this shit, right? But, you know, like I said, before Dragon Ball, I never even had any of this shit. I didn't know people were talking about me and all these different things because that's not my vibe. But I don't necessarily think that people that use all this stuff necessarily are evil, right? You know, it's like, it's not necessarily the platform that is evil. Let's say it's like the individual can make it evil, right? You know, but again, these are roundabout ways that I'm going at, that someone not being your vibe or doing something that isn't your vibe doesn't make them a bad person. But they could be, right? But, you know, I'm trying to get at, like, are you actually trying to be a good person, or are you just looking for someone that has done a bad thing to make yourself feel better about yourself? And I'm not someone that has, you know, and I guess there's like a fine line between it, right? You know, I'm not someone that has like tried to find bad people. You know what I mean? I've constantly been trying to prove myself wrong. If anything, like, the world must be a better place. The world must be a better place. You know, people must care about each other. But I'm constantly, you know, I'm like, wow, the world sucks. The world sucks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to look for the good. Unfortunately, I can't, right? But while I'm doing that, I'm always trying to be the best person I can be, right? And, you know, even a final example of this, unless I ramble a little bit more, look at that guy, you know, recently he was messaging me again, like, oh, you know, you should pay me more money for that. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck you're messaging me about, dude. I'm like, I'm not giving you any more money, dude. And I even showed him the message. I'm like, look, dude, here's the messages. You said it was for free. I wouldn't have even come. You know what I mean? And like I said, thankfully, I'm here for free, and all my other trips have been free. But, you know, that's why I say I don't have a lot of money. I got to live frugally. You know, I'll have money for the plane ticket. And then I need a lodgings because I just don't have money for it. Like, I wouldn't have come to Japan that time unless you told me, come right now because I'll have a free place for you to stay. I had no money. You put me in a bad situation. Now, I understand from your perspective, it's a bad situation because you didn't expect someone was going to buy the place or wanted to buy the place right when I got there. And then you're like, well, fuck Clayton, you got to pay now, even though I told you everything is for free. He's like, well, you know, you should have, and then, you know, eventually I showed him the messages, and here's the messages, dude. It's like, look, you said for free. You know, I could have been a fucking asshole and been like, no, you know what I mean? Technically, right? What are you going to do? There's no contract going to get me kicked out when there's messages or some shit like that, which, you know, I'm sure that would have been an extremely bad situation, which I wouldn't have done. But the point is, you know what I mean? You put me in a bad situation. I understand the situation wasn't amazing for you, but you're the one who said it. And, you know, I'm like, these are the messages. Look, free, dude. You know? And then, you know, he's trying to, like, guilt trip me, like, oh, well, you're not a man. You need to be an adult, you know? Well, if you want to be a man and adult, what about you who said it was for free, dude? I'm not giving you any more fucking money, you know? Like, it's weird, dude. Like, people don't, and, you know, I guess, and so when I say that sort of perspective, that guy has to pretend that I'm the bad guy somehow. Like, imagine telling me you got to be a man. You got to be an adult. You mean Clayton, who, geez, man, you know, had to get, like, a full-time job right after he got kicked out of school? I had to pay all my own shit, you know? What are you talking about? Since I was young, I was paying all my own shit? Like, what are you talking about, dude? Clayton, who's been dying before, had to teach himself how to walk, has been given his will. I've done a lot of very fucking adult things ever since I've been young. I've done situations that people even at my age now will never fucking have to experience. And I'm sure other people are manly in their own ways and adult-like, but, you know, it's just kind of shit like that. It's like, who are you trying to kid here, dude? Like, you know? And it's always when people got to start making shit up, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, like, they've lost it, dude. Like, you're done. You know what I mean? You got to start making stuff up now. Like, come on, dude. We know this isn't what happened. You know, so again, that's like a situation of like, hey, this guy's got to be bad. I got to, like, make myself, I got to, like, you know, kind of cope here to make myself seem like the good guy, to make it better for myself, you know? Because sometimes, you know, when you talk to yourself, you know, you're trying to justify something to yourself, like, I was in the right. You know, this guy is evil, right? And again, what I'm getting at, sometimes it's like, instead of always thinking about that the other person is evil, think about where you are being the good guy, right? And that's not that I'm the most perfect person ever or anything like that, but, you know, I've been able to say that if I die, I can die, you know, knowing that I never treated anyone in a way that, you know, I wouldn't want to be treated myself, right? You know, there's no moral dilemma with me in my life. Anyway, remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. The end.